Hey YouTube, it's Petey Two Finger. I recently ran into some money. My father passed away in the 80s, and my older brother looked up on a site where the Secretary of State had some money that was part of my father's estate that had never been claimed, going back to the 60s. So he worked. I had no idea any of this was going on, but I ended up getting this letter with a check. And so I purchased a set of PA speakers. We're going to talk about those today. And I got a guitar. So I'm real excited about that. And for people who come on this channel to leave comments about how I take from the government, I'm taking from the taxpayers. I got injured. I was told that by the doctors that I can't work. I suffered herniated discs and I have a degenerative disease in my spine. Now, I was denied workman's compensation. I filled out an accident report when this happened, but they threw it away. I was denied unemployment and I was denied disability. So I have never gotten any on the dole money, any disability. This time around, the past I did go on unemployment in the past, but I never got any workman's comp or nothing, zero, zilch. So there have been people who made remarks about how I don't work. They keep bringing that up, people that have trolled this channel. And I just want to rest assured that's not the case. I did run into some money, so we grabbed some speakers. So let's go ahead and take a look at these speakers. They are made by Behringer, and they're 10s. Behringer 10. Blah, 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 blah. Wide sound dispersion. 500 watt, two-way, 10-inch, 1-inch compression horn for the tweeter. And long throw, low frequency driver, superb sound quality. So yeah, they have speak-on connectors in the back, and they also sell an active version of this PK110. We got a pair of these. They're rated at 480 watts, and I tested it out today through this little pile amp. I purchased one of these for $6, and I had to clean the potentiometer and do some repair, minor repair on it. Now it works fine and it sounds really good. I like the EQ on it. It's a very powerful EQ. Actually, today we installed quarter-inch input ports on the speaker because they use speak-on connectors, and I don't have any of those cables. So we put a couple of quarter-inch inputs on it, and I set it up with that little pile amp and my Walkman. It's a Creative Labs iPod, and that has Semantical Nightmare on it. So I listened to that album, and I was just blown away at the speakers. They're great. So when we started doing this, there was no PA, then there was a PA. The first iterations of the PA had a really crappy mixer, and they had 50 watt, 50 watt, and 100. So 50 per channel for the satellite speakers and 100 for the sub, which is a 210, two 10-inch speakers in a really lightweight modern enclosure. It's made by Galen Kruger GK Neo 210, and they're lightweight, but they throw a lot of bass out for being as light and small as they are. So as we upgraded and got bigger mixer, a real mixing board, and then a 600 watt rated Class D power amp, that runs 2.1. So there's the one channel for the subwoofer is 300 watts, and then it's 150 per watt per channel for the right and left satellite speakers. And what we had, I had bought this small PA speaker, like a little mini PA speaker. It was so cute. And I got that for like $9.99 at Salvation Army. And when I got home, I looked it up. It's made by a company called Das Speaker, some German company. It's a $400 speaker, and we only had one. So I look at it, it's an 8-inch speaker with a 1-inch compression driver, and it's rated at 150 watts. Not that much. So I bought another 8, which was this company, Rockville Sound. And I'll tell you what, when we ran into a problem with one of those speakers farting out where it couldn't handle the power of the bass guitar, it was not the Rockville, it was the Das. So I just felt like the weakest link in our setup. Like, I'm trying to finish this project of, I built this rig and it enables us to make music outdoors with batteries. And really the weak link was these speakers having 8s. You can't have 8-inch PA speakers. You should have 12s. In this case, the 12s were much heavier and larger, and we don't really have the room. Plus, we're like kind of getting older, and the idea of lugging around a bunch of heavy speakers. So we settled with the 10s. We haven't taken them out yet. I will do a better update on how they function and probably go and actually review them on Behringer's website once we've tested them. But the preliminary testing today blew my mind how great like the highs were. And both of these other speakers we own, they supposedly have 1-inch compression horns. So it must be just in the a better design. I don't know why it sounded so incredible. The high end was spectacular, and the low end too. The mid seemed to be a little vacant, maybe, which is fine. I run a center channel speaker, which is supposed to fill out whatever is missing from having a digital amp modeling and cabinet simulation, and then all the effects running that through this PA, having a center channel, which is more of an analog thing. I can kind of pick and choose how I run that setup. And if I want to run it all analog and have high gain distortion, I can. If I want spring reverb, I can. If I want to run a little bit of amp and cab sim and analog cab sim, noise gate with external distortion and overdrive with a little spring reverb or PT2399 delay, I can. So it's a flexible system. The weak link in the entire setup was these speakers because we had 8-inch, which is tiny. That's like, it'd be good for a real small bar where they wanted to have background music or monitors at a church maybe. But for a professional like mains on a PA, no, 8-inch is ridiculous. So we settled with these 10s. They were $80, $70 a piece. It was like 160 for a pair of them. I'm super thrilled about the sound. This was a gift to myself because I inherited this money that was part of my inheritance from my father. And I just got this check, and I also purchased a guitar, which is a surprise. Now, I know I just got this bullet Strat. You have to consider that guitars are like tools, and I'm going to be using this new one that's coming. I'm going to be using it. It's going to solve, hopefully check a lot of boxes that need to be checked. And I just wanted to let everyone know the outdoor rig is pretty much done. These speakers, this is great. But you guys, you hear a board mix, so it's not going to affect on your end so much. But having those 10s is awesome, as opposed to having these 8s. And they're not going to kill us. They're still kind of small and kind of lightweight. I'm super excited about what's happening here and this guitar. So if you have any guesses, feel free to guess in the comment if you think you could figure out what I would order. I would flip out if you got any of you guys got it. If you figured out what it was, if you knew me and you know what I like, and then you were like, well, the next logical extension. But I always wanted a Parker. I always wanted a Parker guitar, and unfortunately, it's not. It's not a Parker. I wish. I wish. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for being here with me and keeping me company. And I really appreciate the comments. Unless you're here to accuse me of taking advantage of the taxpayers. Get out of here. All right, you guys. Stay warm, hug your pets, and peace.